Hi, I'm Dave Soukup. When I was sitting as a Superior Court judge in Seattle 30 years ago, I tried all kinds of cases, civil cases, criminal cases, and cases at juvenile court. When I tried a civil case, the case would go on for days. If we didn't finish in one day, we'd come back the next day and continue until it was over. At the end of the case, I'd make a decision, often awarding thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to one party from another party. And that would be the case. I would go home. I wouldn't wake up at 4 o'clock the next morning thinking about that case. I'd just go on to the next case. And then I was assigned to sit at juvenile court. I walked in the first morning and I was told by the staff, Judge Soukup, this is a light calendar today. You only have 8 hearings on this morning's calendar. The first case involved a little 3-year-old girl named Sarah. She'd been referred because the doctors at Harborview Hospital emergency room had thought that the pattern of bruises on her little body indicated that she was being physically abused. Her mother said, no, she fell off a slide, and anyway, my boyfriend isn't living with us anymore. I threw him out of the house. Now, I had to make a decision in this little girl's case. Was I going to take her out of the only home, away from the only parent she'd known for the 3 years of her life, and what kind of emotional trauma would that cause for her? Or was I going to return her to a home that I didn't know was going to be safe for her to be? And hurry up, because you've only got a little time to decide this case. There's 7 more waiting out in the lobby. And I looked around the courtroom, and there was no one there whose only job was to investigate Sarah's case and come into court and speak for her to tell us what was the best decision for Sarah that would affect the rest of her life. When I left juvenile court at the end of the day, I knew I was going to wake up at 4 o'clock the next morning thinking about Sarah and 2 or 3 other kids on that calendar, and I did. So I got the idea of recruiting and training community volunteers to appear in court, investigate cases, and recommend what was best for these kids. I thought if we were lucky, we could get a volunteer for Sarah and maybe 30 or 40 or 50 other kids. Well, 30 years later, there's 50,000 of you wonderful volunteers.